Yo, Benny! I don't think he's home, man. Benny, man, yo. Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm MC Savah from the Kankasaurs. You can catch me on funnyordie.com/Kankasaurs, K-A-N-K-S-O-R-Z, you know what I'm saying? But right now, it's all about Benny TV. Yo, because my boy Benny the Gagoots got his own show. And I just want to give a big shout out to Benny. And in honor of that, I'm going to do dope-ass freestyle, man. So he's got to figure out what rhymes with Benny. 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 What rhymes with Benny? Benny. What rhymes with Benny? Benny. He's in the Serengeti. He's hunting for a Yeti and he's always on the ready. And Benny's always merry when he's eating his spaghetti. But right now he's in the desert, so his palms are kind of sweaty. His good friend Freddie, he brought him that Ben and Jerry. And Yetis, they love the Ben and Jerry. So Benny caught that Yeti and we all threw confetti. Yeah, Benny. Benny TV, baby.
Yeah, Benny TV, baby.
Benny TV, baby. Woo!
What are you doing? Benny TV, baby. All right, we're back. We're back. Ryan Rizzuti, Benny Rizzuti, very special guest, Jack J. Braun.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here. And I love Jack and Benny. Jack Benny.
There you go.
And Ryan.
And Ryan.
Rochester.
We're calling me Rochester. So Jack is one of my friends from Five Towns College. We went to film school together.
We survived together.
We survived Five Towns. We survived Five Towns. Anyone who went to Five Towns at that time survived Five Towns College. Five Towns, great school. Go there.
Oh, yeah.
We're alumni.
Do it. We're washed up and alumni, so.
We're washed up alumni. I'm going to put my...
You had some really good professors, though, right?
Yeah, none of them are there anymore.
Right.
We loved them.
Yeah.
They're not there. They're gone.
Pretty much all of them.
I think every single one of them is gone.
Yeah.
But some really good guy. Even one guy that writes comic books.
Yes, who's not there anymore.
Wow.
He hasn't been there in a while.
Oh,
Pat.
yeah.
Pat Shand.
Yeah.
Pat Shand, if you're watching, amazing screenwriting teacher, writes a lot of great comic books. Prison Witch, Destiny, New York, Robin Hood for Zenescope. I think he's the credited creator of the Zenescope Van Helsing, which got turned into a sci-fi television series.
Oh, wow.
He also wrote the Charmed comic book series. I own all of these.
Yeah. I actually never met Pat, but he's good friends with my brother.
Yes, your brother. I don't think I had class with your brother. I might have had class with your brother. I don't remember.
I had a single class with him, set design.
His brother also went to Five Towns and was a film student.
He survived as well.
He's also survived.
And also a film student?
Yes, who is now a Nassau County police officer, so juxtaposition there is,
It's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I met your brother before I met you, and then you and me became closer throughout the years. You had a short film that we showed on the show.
That's right.
In October, Chosen.
Chosen, that's the one. Yeah.
Which is based off of Silent Hill, which is
correct.
Inspired by PT, which I kind of gave an explanation of PT on the show as best I could, because it's been a while since PT came out.
Yeah, basically PT demo for a new Silent Hill game came out in 2014. Project got completely canceled, so in a way to, I guess, commemorate its memory, I conceived this little fan film to hopefully, I guess, appease myself and anyone else that was looking forward to Silent Hills. Rest in peace, Silent Hills.
And now we're getting Death Stranding, though. So
Death Stranding, it's going to be really good.
In the Ashes, you get Death Stranding, which still has Norman Reedus in a video game, which is, you get to play as Norman Reedus in a video game.
That's cool. Norman Reedus, who many know as Daryl.
Yes.
So.
And
Daryl in The Walking Dead.
Saints.
Murphy McManus?
Murphy McManus, yes.
Murphy McManus in the Boondock Saints.
And Scud in Blade. Right?
That's his name, Scud?
I think. I'm not 100% sure.
I love the way he calls Blade B. Like he's Bumblebee. But special show tonight. It's our big end of the year special. This is our last show of the year. Our next show will be New Year's Day.
Yeah.
We're not doing a show next week for Christmas. We will have a great rerun of our Batman episode where we talked all things Batman. This is our end of the year special. We're going to talk holiday movies, including the best holiday movie of all time, Die Hard. That's right, Charlie Denota. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I just shared it. I finally won the feud. I've been in a feud for 4 years over whether or not Die Hard's a Christmas movie. He knows it was a Five Towns feud. And Fox is releasing a very Die Hard Christmas, like Blu-ray version of Die Hard now.
Oh, yeah?
Which comes with
Is it?
Christmas cards. And I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to mail it to Charlie in upstate New York where he lives.
I saw the trailer, and I saw the trailer the other day, and the trailer is a Christmas because even ends the trailer saying, what better way to spend Christmas? Come to L.A., spend Christmas here. Remember, he's talking to himself when he's all bloody. And
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I love that movie.
It's a good movie.
It's a great
It
Christmas
is.
film. And we're also going to talk our favorite movies of the end of the year, because I see a ton of movies. I've seen so far this year. I'm not done yet. I've seen 63 movies.
Wow.
And the only person I know that sees a lot of movies, one of the only people I know that sees as many movies as I do is Jack. I don't think you've seen 60, but you're definitely up there.
I've lost count, and I see a lot of independent films, and we're kind of. You've seen a majority of films I haven't. I've seen a majority of films you haven't, so it'll be a great
Yeah.
discussion.
No, it's a great juxtaposition, and it's funny because you and me have very similar tastes in movies,
Yeah.
but we go see different movies. Like, I saw The Green Inferno because of you.
I have fond memories of that film.
Oh, me too. How I somehow got all of my friends to go see it with us.
Whom I've never met.
Yeah, you never
prior.
met any of them prior, and I called all of them, and I'm like, we're going to see this Eli Roth cannibal movie. It's funny, I was actually talking about it earlier today at work.
Oh man.
I was talking about it's a fun movie, that Green
Fun.
Inferno. It's a fun. Get to watch the kid from Spy Kids get eaten alive by a bunch of cannibals. That's a fun movie. Which that's an independent film. That was Blumhouse Tilt.
Yeah.
So
and
that's
it
an
was
indie film.
Supposed to come out in 2013.
It didn't come out till 2015.
Yeah, because I don't think anyone wanted to showcase just how brutal that this film is.
Yeah, it was one of those movies that was, even though there's a lot of movies more brutal,
Yeah, Cannibal Holocaust.
Cannibal Holocaust now, but it's having similar issues with distribution, but it's still got distributed the house that Jack built.
Oh, I'm very excited to see that.
I don't know how he
to
got
build
Matt
those.
Dillon to do that movie, but we were talking about that today. That's a new film starring Matt Dillon that's considered like one of the most disturbing films ever made.
yeah?
Yeah.
Fun fact about that film, actually, the director's cut, it's screened for one night only. The night that screening was happening, I saw another film, unfortunately, and IFC Films was like on the verge of being sued or whatever because they wanted to release the director's cut in theaters to everyone, but they were like, no, we cannot release this film. Lars von Trier apparently pulled some strings, and the director's cut was released on YouTube for a couple of hours on like December 14th or whatever.
That's great.
Yeah, I wish I could have seen it, but no such luck.
But we're going to do a little bit of both. We're going to talk our favorite movies of the year and our favorite holiday
Favorite
movies.
holiday movies. And John LaRocchia, who comes up later with
Yes, the
Laughter
host
Saves
of Laughter
Lives.
Saves Lives Live on right
Right.
after us at 8 o'clock.
And he wants to mention Home Alone,
Home Alone.
which is, a Christmas
And he also
movie.
wants you to be quiet.
He said, tell the guy on the left. So am I the guy on
On
the
your
left?
left. I think he meant me. Because I'm the one in the middle,
Yeah.
and you're on my left.
And John doesn't
John.
know his middle from his left and right.
Oh, he has no idea.
If it was me, that's fine. I do talk a lot, but you know.
No, it wasn't you.
You're the
Okay.
quietest guy at the table right now.
Okay, yeah, true.
You're the quietest person at this table.
Once we get to the best films of the year, I'm gonna be talking a mile a minute.
I know, that's perfect. Would you like to start with the holiday movies, or do you want to start with
Let's start with
the end of the year? and
the
then
end
we'll
of the
go
year
into-
movies, and
Let's do
then
the
we'll
end of the
end
year-
with holiday
I like
movies.
that idea. We'll do the end of the year movies. So me and Jack both have extensive lists. I list, the way I make my list now is I do every single film I've seen all year. I just keep the list and constantly am updating it. So I have all 63 movies that I've seen, and plus a list of like another 25 that I need to see, some of which haven't even been released this year. Like, the movie that we were talking about before the show, Under the Silver Lake.
Yes, which was supposed to be released at some point this year in I think November. Then it got pushed back to April, and they're doing massive
Reshoots. They're
re-edits.
reshooting almost the entire film.
Really?
And it's from the director of It Follows, and it stars Andrew Garfield
And,
of Amazing Spider-Man fame.
Also,
Oh, okay.
What's her name? Riley Keough from It Comes at Night. I don't know how you
Yes.
say her last name.
Yes.
I'm hoping that's how you say it. Sorry, Riley, if you're watching.
She's mad at you now.
Ugh.
She's never going to message you back. But I think we'll both, you've seen a lot less movies than
I
we
have.
But
I
you have seen
But
some
I want to
movies. You have
listen
a
to
couple
what
of
you
favorites.
guys, and then I'll tell you
Okay.
my favorites because you'll remind me of a few. And there was like one I was thinking of, and then I thought, oh, that might be last year. The one with James Franco.
That was last year.
That was
Disaster
last
Artist was last
The
year.
Disaster Artist.
That was last year. You saw it in January, so that's why.
Yeah.
You watched it in January. That happens with movies at the end of the year. Like, there's going to be a lot of movies. I usually don't really fully have a end of the year list until like the end of January because there's a lot of movies that come out Christmas that I'm not going to see until January due to platform releasing, which is when they'll open it very small on like Christmas Day, and then they won't open it wide till like January 12th. Right. It happened with
Which
the
there
Post
are-
last year.
Yeah, and there's even films. There's like independent films, foreign films that don't see U.S. releases until like maybe
Yes.
a year after
Oh yeah.
the 2018's over.
Yeah, you'll have to wait years
Yeah.
for some movies, and that sucks. But that's just the way of the world, and there's so many movies,
Yeah.
so not all of them are going to be able to get a good release. But yeah, like we said, we both have very different lists,
do.
which I really like.
Yeah.
I'll go through my top 10 is going to be very different from yours, but I really like that.
Who knows?
And I have a couple of honorable mentions. Let's go through honorable mentions first.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you like to start?
Yeah, I'll start. I'll go. My first. I have 5 honorable mentions.
Okay.
My first honorable mention is the new Halloween.
Mhm.
I really love the new Halloween. We have a couple friends that didn't like the film so much. I have a couple of friends that didn't like it. I personally, it's my favorite Halloween movie, next to the first one. I think they did so much with the film. I thought the writing was great. There's some nitpicks,
Yeah.
but overall, it was a great movie and everything I wanted out of a new Halloween film.
I really liked it. In terms of like being a sequel, it probably like holds the closest candle to
Oh, yeah.
just capturing the essence and
Definitely.
the legitimacy of what made the first Halloween so great.
Oh, I completely agree.
Yeah. And I guess if I had any complaints about the film, it'd be like, it feels surprisingly tame at times. Other times, not so much. But also, it felt very, I guess, unfulfilling would be the word I'd use.
Okay.
Like towards the ending, like it is fulfilling, but it kind of leaves you wanting more, you know.
Okay.
But yeah. Other than that, I really liked it. I'd give it like a 7.
Okay, yeah, no, mine it's kind of a it's a high 8, low 9 for me. It's right up there. It's right up there. It's definitely one of my favorite movies of the year, and it's a movie I think I'm gonna rewatch
Oh, I'm
a
definitely buying
lot.
it.
Like every year, I'm gonna watch that movie again.
Blu-ray Steelbook for
Oh,
sure.
I'll get the Steelbook for that. So do you have an honorable mention that you'd like to?
I have 3.
Okay, so let's go one, and we'll go back and forth, and we'll try to
Okay.
do them quick.
My first honorable mention is this is a film from, I believe the director's name is Jacques Audiard, if I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry, Jacques. Now he hates me too. It's called it's called The Sisters Brothers with
Oh,
Joaquin Phoenix and John C. Reilly.
I really wanted to see that. I didn't get a chance to see that, and Jake Gyllenhaal's also in it.
Yes, Jake Gyllenhaal, Riz Ahmed, who are both in Nightcrawler. This film was the reason I'm putting this in honorable mention because I could see myself putting this in the top 10. However, when I saw the film, I was so tired because I had gotten up at like 6:30 a.m., worked for 10 hours,
Okay.
and the only showing I could get was at 10:15 at night. The movie's 2 hours, so I was understandably really not awake.
Okay.
And I didn't think the movie was boring in any sense. There were just times where I was like, but I definitely need to see it.
That happens. It's like
Yes, I definitely need to see
it's
it.
like somebody's touching your eyelids, son.
Yeah.
It's just so awful, but I just need to see it one more time. But from what I did see and vividly remember, I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't call it just a normal Western. It's definitely more of like an action adventure drama
Okay,
type of film. Both Joaquin Phoenix is my favorite actor. He was fantastic. John C. Reilly was really believable.
I love John C. Reilly.
And this is a Western?
Yes.
Yeah, and Jake Gyllenhaal, he's another one of my favorite actors. So seeing them both in the same film, I was just like, he like
And Riz Ahmed's a great actor
He's
too.
really good,
Venom
too.
withstanding, he's a great actor.
and a great rapper. He's a rapper.
Oh yeah, he raps.
DJ Riz.
DJ Riz.
Riz MC. I don't know.
Riz.
I don't know. I'm sorry, Riz. If you hate me now too, all these celebrities.
They all hate you. Like you're on the show. list.
Jake Gyllenhaal attempted an accent in this film that I really like never saw
Okay.
perform before, and I was like, wow, this is like really.
He's an
different,
actor
yeah.
that always transcends and is always doing something like just every film, like Nocturnal Animals, he was completely different than he was in Nightcrawler to what he was.
Enemy and Prisoners from Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah,
recommend.
I'm not
Great.
the biggest fan of Enemy, but Prisoners is one of my favorite movies. Like, I can watch... Prisoners is my second favorite Denis Villeneuve film next to Blade Runner 2049.
I haven't seen that one yet. Yeah.
Oh, you have to see that.
My dad's a huge Blade Runner fan. We've spent like 3 shows talking about Blade Runner 2049.
My housemate is obsessed with Blade Runner, which is rightfully so because I hear nothing but amazing
Oh,
things.
it's great. But that was last year.
Yeah. So yeah, Sisters Brothers.
Sisters Brothers, which is a movie that is actually on my need-to-watch list, along with another film that may be on your list, which is You Were Never Really Here, which is the other Joaquin Phoenix film this year that I didn't get a chance to see.
I actually consider that 2017.
Okay.
Because it screened at Cannes in
Okay.
2017.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like a weird distinction. You Were Never Really Here in First Reformed, particularly, which, by the way, that my little hat that I got here,
Is
First
First
Reformed,
Reformed.
Ethan Hawke, Paul Schrader, you guys are awesome. Like, there's films that are screened for the very first time in 2017 in these festivals, and they don't get U.S. releases until 2018.
Yeah, but
So-
that was a film I really wanted to see.
Yeah, normally I guess I would have them on here if
Okay.
I had that distinction of U.S. releases, but I would consider those 2017. But
Okay.
You Were Never
makes
Really Here
sense.
is fantastic. I don't mean to tell you to not.
No,
put that
no,
on
I
your
really
list,
need to see the movie. I really, that's at the top of my list is You Were Never Really Here.
It
Like, I
is-
really need to watch that film.
Fantastic.
My next runner-up, I have a couple of honorable mentions that I'm not going to mention because I'm like 90% sure they're on your list for the year. But another honorable mention I have is the Steven Spielberg film to come out this year, Ready Player One,
Ah, yes.
which I read the book. I loved the movie. I thought the movie was better than the book, which is surprising. There's a couple of different distinctions of like rights they couldn't get for things from the book for the movie.
Yeah.
But to me, it was the most Spielberg, like, Amblin Entertainment like film that he's done in years. Like the most like a Jurassic Park or an E.T.
Yeah.
or like even movies he produced like Goonies. Like it felt like all of those. Like it was like Goonies meets Willy Wonka meets like Tron meets The Wizard. Like it was all those rolled into one. It was just, I very much enjoyed that movie. And honestly, it's my favorite Ben Mendelsohn villain performance in like a big movie.
Ben Mendelsohn's a pretty underrated actor.
Oh, he's extremely underrated, and he always plays a villain. So like people really only know him as a villain.
You know what's funny? The first film I've ever seen him in was an A24 film called Mississippi Grinds with Ryan Reynolds.
That's a
Where
movie that's
he
been
plays
on my
a-
list. I need to see
Yeah,
that.
he plays a gambling addict, and it's quite a film. It's another one. Check that one
The
out.
first film I think I saw him in was The Place Beyond the Pines
Oh, I
with
have to watch
with
that.
Ryan Gosling and Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, that's on my
Which-
list.
Yeah, no, that was a really good movie. Actually I watched that when we were in college because we had one of the film loaders come in because he did a short film and he was talking about the movie, and our head of the department at the time, I think it was before you started going there, when your brother was going there because your brother was above me.
Yeah.
He was a big supporter of that movie, and a lot of people in the school really liked that movie, and that was, and I'm a big Gosling fan. I didn't get a chance to see First Man, so it's not on my list, but
I saw First Man.
I'm a big Gosling fan. So Ready Player One. What's your next honorable mention?
My next film is my fingers are sweaty, so the touch thing's not working.
Oh no.
My next film, funny enough, also has Joaquin Phoenix in it because he's my favorite actor. It is a film called Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot from Gus Van Sant. And this is a true story about John Callahan, who was a cartoonist that was in a drunk driving accident that left him as a paraplegic. And he as sort of like a therapeutic way of healing, he started to draw. And he eventually became a very well-renowned cartoonist. And Joaquin Phoenix is amazing in this film. Jonah Hill is unrecognizable in this film.
I've heard that.
Yeah, Rooney Mara is great as well. Jack Black is in the film for a
Oh,
little
I've
bit
heard
too,
that Jack Black's in it as well.
and he's surprisingly really good as well. If there's one thing I had to critique this film on that I didn't like, Gus Van Sant, I feel like he's a little notorious for having some sort of like whimsical, almost mystical feelings about his films. He made a film that A24 released called Sea of Trees, and that whole theme was very apparent in the film, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
I know that film is considered I've never seen it, but it's considered by a lot of people as like probably one of the worst movies.
Yeah, it was not
That's
that good.
probably A24's worst film, a lot of people consider. And that was a movie that I feel like even they kind of swept that under the rug.
Yeah.
That kind of came out very like quickly, and that has 2 big stars in it.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey.
And Matthew McConaughey and Ken Watanabe.
Yeah.
That's a film about the Japanese suicide force. That's
Oh,
all we're
yeah?
going to say on that. But I didn't get a chance to see You Were Never. This is going to be a reoccurring theme. I didn't get a chance to see that film. I actually heard mixed things about You Were Never. Don't worry, he won't get really far on foot.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix loves these movies with really long titles. Yeah.
I know. I kind of almost combined.
You were
the
never
two.
really on foot.
Yeah, You Were Never really on foot.
I mean, he wasn't. He's in a wheelchair. So.
He's in a wheelchair.
It was definitely a mixed bag. That film.
All right, so I'll do one more honorable mention, and I'll do two really quickly.
Yeah.
One is Overlord,
I haven't seen that. I hear.
which is a World War II zombie film.
Good thing.
Oh yeah, I want to see that
with,
one.
It's very. It
I
felt
just
like
missed it. I missed it.
It felt like a Kurt Russell, John Carpenter movie with Kurt Russell's son in the Kurt Russell role and Wyatt Russell, and the whole cast I thought was great. I highly recommend that movie. And the other one is a documentary, which is my first of two documentaries on the list, which is Won't You Be My Neighbor? The
Oh,
Mr. Rogers
yes.
documentary.
Mr.
Which
Rogers.
That was a good one.
It's a spectacular film, and it'll really warm your heart, and I highly recommend it. We'll do one more honorable mention, then we'll start banging out these top 10s real quick.
This one was on my list for a while, but then I saw one more film, so it knocked it down to honorable mention. My last honorable mention is Black Klansman from Spike Lee.
Oh,
That film.
As a film all of us have seen.
Yeah.
yes.
I really enjoyed it. I thought Denzel Washington's son was amazing in it. Adam Driver was fantastic. My biggest complaint about the film is that I felt that Spike Lee was like, how do I say this? He was like very on the nose with certain
He
aspects.
was very on the nose, but I kind of liked
Yeah.
the on the noseness of the film.
Yeah.
I felt like it was one of the times where he is a very on the nose director, Spike Lee,
Oh, yeah.
intentionally on the nose
Yeah.
all the time. I really do enjoy most of Spike Lee's movies, even the bad ones.
Even Old Boy.
Not so much, but I like Chirac for some reason.
I enjoy him
it's
also.
An interesting film.
And
I like Do the Right Thing.
I love.
yeah,
Do
Do the Right Thing is a great movie.
Do the Right Thing and Inside Man are my two favorite Spike Lee movies, right next to Black Klansman.
But I like what he did with this movie, and I even like the brashness of opening it with a scene from Gone with the Wind, which is a Best Picture winner of what, 7 or 8 Academy Awards,
I believe so.
and he opens his movie with Gone with the Wind, and I really like that the way he did that. I was like, wow, this better. It's like you better be good, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I really like the way the small role Alec Baldwin has in the very beginning.
That scene
Yeah.
was really funny.
I love that. That's fantastic. Adam Driver, probably his best performance.
Oh, definitely.
I loved John David Washington. That's his calling card now, Denzel Washington's
yeah.
son. And I only ever saw him in Ballers before that, so he was fantastic.
Did you know that Spike Lee? I could be totally wrong now that I think about it, but I think Spike Lee originally wanted Denzel Washington. I think he wanted to make this film like years back,
Yeah.
and he wanted Denzel, but then he never got the opportunity. So now that Denzel's son is like at about the right age that Ron Stallworth was, it just worked out perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, if that happened, that's amazing. How that works out, because he's great. He's regardless of him being his son or not his son, he's a fantastic actor in his own right.
What I
He
like
definitely
about
learned
it
a lot
too,
from Denzel.
watching it, you don't really see that he's Denzel Washington, because sometimes you see a movie and it's somebody's son or daughter, and they look like the person.
Yeah.
But here was an actor that I didn't think of Denzel Washington at all.
No, and that's what's really good about it.
Yeah, and Topher Grace. I have to
Topher
mention
Grace
Topher
is
Grace.
spectacular
Him
in
as
the movie.
David Duke is
He plays David
phenomenal.
Dukes, and it's just
And
I couldn't believe it.
I saw a thing with Spike Lee that his casting director told him to get. No, it wasn't his casting director. It was his agent who never gives him people to look at other their clients. Said to him, "You should have Topher Grace play this role." And Spike Lee's like, "Are you kidding me? Really?" But he's like, "But this is a person that never says this to me." So he took it as okay, I look into it, and it was perfect.
He's perfect.
Topher Grace is the perfect person to play that role, and it made me think of him him as an actor recently, like he's just been changing the roles he picks and the different films that he does, and he's been really becoming a very good actor, Topher Grace.
He's in Under the Silver Lake.
Yeah, that's
So I'm excited to see him in that.
And he said in an interview recently, he's like, he makes so much money from That 70s Show that he's like, I don't need to work the movies to make money, so I can just do the films that I want to do, that I choose to do, which is something that I feel like Joaquin Phoenix does, Natalie Portman does. And I really like when, sometimes it can be iffy, but I like when actors do that. Like, that's something I really enjoy. Now, let's get right into the top 10s. My number 10 is a film that, for a lot of people, will probably be one of their number ones. It's by a lot of people considered the best blockbuster film of the year, and it's the highest grossing film of the year, and it's Black Panther. Black Panther is safely at number 10 on my list. I adore this film.
It's definitely...
It's one of my favorite Marvel movies. It's one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. One of my favorite origin stories. I think all the awards considerations beginning, it got a SAG nomination for Best Ensemble Cast. I think it got Golden Globe nominations.
For Best Drama.
For Best Drama.
Wow.
All rightly deserved. I think it's kind of a shame Michael B. Jordan's not getting awards consideration for Best Supporting Actor. It's a very tough year for Supporting Actor. But I think he's right up there with Sam Elliott and Adam Driver and Richard Grant for a film I didn't get a chance to see. That's probably on your list. Can You Ever Forgive Me?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yep. Oh, nobody got to see it. I want to see that because that's apparently Melissa McCarthy's best film as well.
She got nominated.
Oh, yeah, I want to see that one, too.
Yeah, she got a big nomination for that. And, there's nothing bad I can really say about Black Panther. I love Black Panther. It's by far one of my favorite movies of the year. It's the way that Ryan Coogler made that film. I think it was like a crescendo of what he was able to do.
Yeah, as a Marvel fan, I definitely consider it to be one of the better Marvel. I mean, I haven't seen every single MCU film, but it's definitely one of the better Marvel films. I think it's a very competent action film. Like, if you take away the whole Marvel aspects, just look at it straightforward as a film in general, I think it is good. I personally wouldn't. I don't have it on my top 10, but I liked it.
All right.
I liked it.
So what's your number 10? What do you have? For
My number 10. I didn't expect this film at all to be on here, but it is a film. I believe it's screened for the first time at Sundance. It's called Searching with John Cho.
Oh, that was a movie that, like, the only reason I didn't see it was, like, showtimes didn't match up with my life.
Yeah, no,
which can happen sometimes.
I drove all the way from East Northport to Stony Brook to catch like a 3 p.m. showing.
That's where I saw Vox Lux this weekend.
Hey, there you go. Stony Brook plays films like just considerably for longer periods of time.
Long periods of time, and they always have an interesting selection of movies. I used to work where the Shake Shack is over there now. It used to be a restaurant called John Harvard's, and I used to work there as a server. And almost every day after work, I would go right to a movie. I did that all the time, and that was back too when they did midnight screenings. So I would work a Thursday night and then go to a midnight screening. Like, I would get out at 10, and then I would go get food with friends, and then I would go to a midnight screening. So that was so much fun, and they used to always do late night showings, and that's changed in the past years. You know, that was like 5 or 6 years ago.
For those that don't know what Searching is, it's basically the formula from Unfriended. The whole film takes place on a computer screen, except this film is good and not awful.
I like Unfriended for a horror movie
fun
on a
film,
computer
but it's
screen.
really quite a steep downfall in filmmaking. Searching is really good, though.
Searching is the same thing done in a considerably different. It's about a missing daughter, starring John Cho from Harold and Kumar, and Deborah Messing's also in it.
Yes,
from Will and Grace.
John Cho did a remarkably good job in this role. I didn't think he had it in him.
Yeah, I really need to see Searching. That's also on my must-watch list. My number 9 is another. I have a lot of more blockbuster films than you do. My number 9 is what I consider probably the best action movie I've seen since Raid 2, which is Mission Impossible Fallout. This is the 6th Mission Impossible film. The story isn't amazing. It's a typical story for like a spy film.
Yeah.
But the acting is spectacular, and the stunts and the action, the way one action scene flows endlessly into another, and it's the first Mission Impossible movie that really pulls in storylines from other Mission Impossible films. The villain from 5 is the villain in 6.
Oh, okay.
His wife from 3 gets brought back in, and one of the main story elements is the fact that Ethan Hunt should be alone. He shouldn't have friends. He should be completely alone and isolated, and his friends is what keeps him from being able to be this supernatural-like being that Ethan Hunt is. And regardless of what you say about Tom Cruise, he's a great actor with the exception of The Mummy. And oh God, that
Never forget that scream.
never forget The Mummy scream.
He broke his ankle on Mission Impossible.
He
right?
did,
Yes.
and the shot is in the movie.
Yeah, because he gets up and he just keeps running.
He just kept going.
Ugh.
But some of the stunt work, some of the stuff he does in the movie is fantastic. Henry Cavill probably has his best performance in a big budget action movie.
It's a good thing he kept that mustache.
Oh, that mustache.
Of course, he did
I'm
destroy
gonna be honest,
Justice League.
it's a great mustache.
Yeah.
I don't know why they couldn't have put a fake mustache on it, but who knows? That's just a studio trying to. Paramount's not doing well, so they need to get one over on Warner Brothers. So it was like, no, screw you.
Makes sense.
You know about the mustache gate?
Yeah.
Yes, everyone knows Mustache Gate. If you don't know about Mustache Gate, look up Mustache Gate, Mission Impossible, and it will come up. What's your number 9 for the year?
All right, my number 9. I saw this recently at the Alamo Draft House in Brooklyn. Fantastic movie theater. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, I
when
need
you
to
get
go
the
with you
chance.
to a movie soon.
Oh, absolutely. This film screens for the first time at Cannes, and it is called Burning. It is a South Korean film starring Stephen Young, who plays Glenn on The Walking Dead. And it is definitely one of the most mysterious films I have seen. It's hard to describe a basic plot of the film, but to put it, I guess in layman's terms, it's about a part-time worker who rekindles with a neighborhood friend that he hasn't seen in a long time, and she asks him to look after his cat, or her cat, while she's away in Africa. And upon her return, she introduces the part-time worker to this really mysterious guy named Ben, who's played by Stephen Young. And over time, Ben confesses a secret hobby of his to the part-time worker and the neighborhood friend. And I'm not going to say anything other than that, but it's a very mysterious film. You were talking about supporting actors. I actually think that Stephen Young has potential to get nominated because
That would be amazing if he did.
it's tough to gauge nuances in films that aren't in English. Because I'm not too familiar with South Korean, obviously, but his performance was quite a revelation. And if you're a fan of mysteries and thrillers and stuff like that, I would highly recommend this film. It is pretty long though, so just be prepared. It's about 2.5 hours.
Okay.
But it was really
All
something.
right, I need to watch that. My next, I'm gonna do my 8 and my 7, so we can try and go a little bit faster.
Yeah.
My number 8 is a film I thought would have been lower on the list, which I don't think you had a chance to see it, but Mom's seen it twice, which is the remake of A Star Is Born.
I haven't seen that yet.
Directed by Bradley Cooper, starring Lady Gaga. I've done reviews talking about how much I enjoy this movie. It is a great film. I love it. I've seen all 3 Rockstar movies that have come out this year.
Oh. I
And-
thought you were going to say you saw the other 3 Stars Born.
No, I actually have not seen any of the other Stars Borns.
Oh, wow.
So that might weigh on why I like it so much. Maybe if I watched the Barbra Streisand, Chris Christopherson one, I would like it less. I don't know.
I heard that one is bad.
I've also, I have people telling me that it's much better, so who knows? And then my number 7 is Incredibles 2,
Very nice.
which is it's my second favorite animated film of the year. I thought it was going to be my first.
Oh, I know what your first is.
And yes, and it is a fantastic movie. If you love The Incredibles, you're going to love it. If you don't love The Incredibles, who are you? And then my number 6 is Black Klansman, which we already talked about. And we already said how amazing that film is. And just outside my top 5.
Okay.
All right. Before I continue, I just want to preface: I haven't seen every film. I haven't seen *Star Is Born*. I haven't seen *Green Book*. Obviously, I haven't seen *Vice*. If Beale Street Could Talk, those 2 films haven't been released yet. And there's a bunch of other films that I haven't seen: *Suspiria*, *House That Jack Built*. So *Roma*, that's another one. So if you don't hear from those on either of our lists, you know why. So anyways, number 8 is a really good ensemble piece. It's called Bad Times at the El Royale by Drew Goddard.
Oh, yeah, I want to see that one.
That
I
was
just
on my
missed it. I
honorable
happened to
mentions.
be out of town, and I missed it. I want to see that.
You were away.
I was away, and when I came back, it was gone. That one and Hotel Artemis is another one that I want to see.
That film, I gotta tell you, Bad Times really surprised me. It was shot beautifully. The ensemble of characters was fantastic.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges, right?
Jeff
He
Bridges,
was
Jeff
Chris
Bridges.
Hemsworth, John Hamm.
Yeah, I want to
Johnson.
see that.
Johnson.
Cynthia Erivo.
I want to see. Hopefully, it'll get on
soon.
TV
You'll
on
have,
DVD.
it'll be available very, very soon.
Sometime in January, I believe it'll
yeah.
be released.
So by next month.
Yeah.
You'll be able to watch it next month, which is great.
Number 7 for me is an A24 film, the first of 3 on this list.
Loves A24.
Oh,
Big A24 guy.
A24 is my god.
Very
I've
popular
seen
distributor.
almost
okay.
every A24 film. Number 7 is 8th Grade.
I really need to watch this movie.
Bo Burnham's directorial
Directorial
debut,
debut.
and I gotta say, it was very impressive. Elsie, I think her name's Elsie Fisher. She was fantastic. She got nominated for Best Actress in a Leading Comedy, and in terms of like filmmaking, it's really nothing. It's not like a spectacle. Like the way it's shot is like not exactly anything overachieving, but it's really just the story and like
the heart and
Yeah, the
everything.
heart. It just feels so genuine. It's a very relatable film. Highly recommend it. And then number 6 for me is a film I saw recently. This is from visionary director Panos Cosmatos. It is called Mandy.
Oh,
with
Mandy.
Nicolas Cage.
I've been trying to watch Mandy for a couple weeks. My friend's been trying to get me to watch it. We just haven't had a chance to watch it. It's Nicolas Cage's new film,
Yeah.
which by a lot of people is considered his best film.
Oh yeah.
He's
all right.
surprisingly he is Nick Cage. Like if you've seen Bad Lieutenant, like that's just Nick Cage being Nick Cage. But he is genuinely really good in this film. And Panos Cosmatos, if you guys don't know, he's the son of George P. Cosmatos, who made First Blood Part 2,
Oh, I love his
Cobra,
work.
and Tombstone.
I don't know. I'm kidding.
Literally 3 movies that you like and one that we watched
What-
over the weekend.
Which one? What is it?
Rambo First Blood Part 2, Cobra, and Tombstone.
And Tombstone, I love. I saw that the other day.
You immediately dismiss the guy who made a Rambo film and Cobra, which is considered like one of Stallone's best movies.
But Tombstone, Val Kilmer was robbed for the best
Holliday.
actor or best supporting actor as Doc Holliday. He's just great. I saw it again Sunday, and I've been saying his lines all the time. I'm your Huckleberry. I'm your Huckleberry. Say when. And actually, if you go to, I have to put a sidebar in. Go to Val Kilmer's website, and he sells T-shirts and mugs of him as Doc Holliday, and he's got a mug that says "Say when."
That's great.
If he had an "I'm your Huckleberry," I would have bought it.
You should get some Batman mugs too. That'd be
Batman
funny.
mugs. Oh, that would be
Yeah.
great. if
He hated
had-
Batman,
No, yeah, he hated doing that movie.
and I loved him as Batman. I thought he was one of the best Batman.
You know,
Batman's is
Batman's?
Batman's
Batman?
Bad guys.
Bat dudes.
Bat dudes.
So you did all the way up to 6, right? All the way,
Yeah.
You just have your top 5 left?
Yeah.
All right, so my number 5 is a film that both of us have seen. You have not seen.
Oh, you know.
It is the Peter Farrelly directed film
Oh.
Green Book, starring Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali, that
Yes.
we reviewed.
I love it. It's one of my. That's on my list of. I'll give you my top 5. That's on my list of top 5. I don't know what number exactly.
I'm very
but,
excited to see it.
Yeah. It's gotten some weird pushback from people against the movie. I disagree with it.
People love starting stuff.
Yeah, I disagree with it.
We're
I
in a
think it's a great
time-
movie.
Yeah, we're in a time where everything's racist. You know?
I love the movie. I
the
think
color
it's a great
of your
movie, but
sneakers is racist.
all right. And then my number 4 is Avengers: Infinity War,
Very, very flooring experience.
which I don't have to talk about Avengers: Infinity War. We all know it's great.
Yeah,
You
it's
should
a
watch
great
Avengers:
movie.
Infinity War. And then my number 3 was a film up until the end of last month was my number 1. I thought it was going to be my number 1 for the rest of the year. Was the documentary 3 Identical Strangers.
Really need to see that too.
It's a film I saw on a whim, and it was the best decision I've made movie-wise all year. It hits every single note. It makes you cry, makes you angry, makes you sad, makes you laugh. It's a whirlwind, and the fact that it's real, and the way that the documentary is edited, the way it was shot. They do like a little bit of reenactments in with the voiceover of the people talking about it, and the way that it was all done It's a fantastic film. I highly recommend it.
I have to see it. I remember those guys. I remembered reading about them in the paper. I met them. The three.
wow.
Yeah, the
yeah,
three.
he met them once.
I met them because once people found out, for those of you who don't know, they were triplets who were adopted separately. No one knew that they were triplets, and only the doctors knew. And then they found each other, and when they found each other, some agent must have approached them and tried to get them to do a stand-up comedy act. So I saw them in an open mic in a comedy club in Huntington. And they did an open mic, and they each had
insane.
T-shirts. One has Ippity, Bippity, and Boop. But they were nice. They were really great guys. So I want to see that. That Identical Strangers.
I highly recommend it. Another film that's not. I want to give this an honorable mention. It's not one of my top films of the year, but the film American Animals.
I haven't seen that.
With
yeah.
Evan Peters and I can't think of his name.
Barry Keoghan.
Barry Keoghan.
From Sacred Deer.
From Killing of a Sacred Deer, and he's going to be the lead in the Why the Last Man TV series, which scares me.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm a big fan of that comic. Yeah, he's a good actor, though.
Oh,
that
fantastic.
is a very interesting film because it's done with the real people that the film's about in documentary style. And then the film is like reenactments while they talk about it documentary style.
I had no
It's a
idea.
fascinating way to make a film. So just on that alone, I recommend watching it because it's fascinating to have the real people documentary style juxtaposed with the actors in the movie.
I'm really excited to see this
It's
now.
very interesting. It's almost like the way they did I, Tonya, but with the actual people
Yeah, wow. That's,
instead of the actors. So think of it like that.
I've
And
never thought of
It's
that.
a fascinating way to do the movie.
There was a movie like that, which is I don't know how old it is anymore, with Paul Giamatti, and it was about trying to think of the name of it. It was about the a cartoonist, a guy that
American
did
Splendor.
American Splendor.
About Harvey
Yes.
Picar.
Harvey Picar.
I remember that movie. It was like
And
early 2000s.
and
It was one of his first lead roles. Paul Giamatti.
And what they did was Paul Giamatti's in it with some other people, and then the real Harvey Picar is actually in it, and his friend, who's this really strange dude, is in it too. And it's about the underground comic scene with R. Crumb, Zap Comics, and
yeah, like the indie comics, because
the
it was an
indie
independent comic, like in the 90s, 80s?
70s.
70s, wow.
70s and 60s, they were underground comics, and there was Zap Comics, and R. Crumb, whom I believe is still alive, he made a living with all these comics, and then Fritz the Cat came from Zap Comics.
Yeah.
Ralph Bakshi was one of the. I think R. Crumb created Fritz the Cat, and Bakshi made the movie.
Oh, okay.
But those comics. So Harvey Picar was one of those characters, and they had the real Harvey in it. His wife was, so they would go from Paul Giamatti to the real Harvey.
I'll have to add that
So
to the
it's- so
list.
it's-
Add that to the list.
Yeah, because you
He's
said
got
that.
a list of movies.
All right,
after
because
that.
you said that you didn't know that was done before, so
Yeah.
I remember that. That was about 15 years ago. So.
Wow.
There you go.
There's
There's another one.
You went up to number 3, right?
Yes.
Okay. So number 5 for me is probably everyone's favorite biopic of the year, Bohemian Rhapsody.
That was another one of my honorable mentions. That and Bad Times at El Royale were my two honorable mentions that I didn't want to mention because I knew you were going to talk about them.
This film originally was actually number 3, but then I kind of let it sit with me for a while, because the film is kind of a gross misrepresentation of Queen. They
You also saw
alter,
Bohemian Rhapsody.
I loved Bohemian Rhapsody. That's in my top 5.
they alter
I recommend
events.
Yeah,
you
they
know.
changed some
I
things.
do think they state, like in the credits though, that certain events were altered.
Yeah, okay.
But Rami Malek was phenomenal. He's definitely going to get nominated.
He deserves it.
It's a really good embodiment of just what Queen is about, like the music, their legacy, stuff like that. It's just like, the whole thing with the story elements kind of brings it down, but I think it's shot beautifully. The whole reenactment of the Live Aid concert.
Oh, it's worth seeing just to see the Live Aid concert. And it's not in IMAX anymore, but I saw it in IMAX, and that was the movie to see in IMAX
I
this
saw it in
year.
IMAX,
that and
too.
Infinity War were the movies to see in IMAX.
That 20-minute window is just like
Oh, it's
Nirvana.
It's
Queen.
It's
but,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
But But yeah, no, that and Infinity War, because Infinity War, the entire film was shot using IMAX cameras. So the entire film is the entire screen, so it's so amazing. I'm sure Endgame's going to be just like that too.
Definitely.
So that and Bohemian Rhapsody were my top 2 IMAX films of the year. Because that movie's fantastic. We did a whole episode where we just talked about Queen and Bohemian Rhapsody.
And we
It's
did
such a good
like
movie.
2 episodes pretty much. Anyway, we want to talk about holiday movies. So
We're down to the 2 and the 1. Dan.
Yeah,
We're down
okay.
to the 2 and the 1.
I still have 4 and 3. I'll breeze by them super
Yeah,
quickly.
we'll breeze by them really quick, Dan.
Okay.
Number 4, it won Palme d'Or at Cannes Film Festival, which is basically the highest award you can get. It's like Best Picture. It is Shoplifters, Japanese film, really amazing, very heartfelt, very true and genuine. Go see it. Number 3, this was number 1 for a while, just like yours, but then I saw 2 more films. It's Hereditary, one of the best family dramas / horror films I've ever seen. It's just, if you want to feel sad and just like upset after seeing a movie, Hereditary is the one to see. After you. for number
Yes,
2.
my number 2 film, which is the film I thought was going to be number 1, is Creed 2. The sequel to Creed.
Right.
It's fantastic. If you love the Rocky films, and you didn't see Creed 1, watch Creed 1 and watch this, or just see this. But this is a film, a must-see for
I have to see
boxing
it.
fans, Rocky fans. I love it. It's Rocky 4 Part 2. And that's what's so good about it. It's Rocky 4 Part 2, but take out all the hokey things about Rocky 4.
Rambo, Rocky, First Blood,
Part
Creed.
7. Part Creed.
Oh my God.
And my favorite film of the year was a film I just saw, and I'm going to see it again and again and again, and it's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the animated Spider-Man film, which I did not even think would make my top 10, and it is by far my favorite Spider-Man film of the year. It might be my favorite Spider-Man film of all time.
Next to 2, Spider-Man 2.
It's better than 2. It's better than
wow.
Homecoming.
Wow.
It's everything I ever wanted as a Spider-Man movie as a kid. It's a comic. It's literally made like a comic book come to life. The animation might take a little bit for some people, but it's a comic book come to life, and everything they do is amazing. Nicolas Cage is in it. He voices Spider-Man Noir. He's great.
Yes.
Jake Johnson, Chris Pine, Liev Schreiber. Shamik Moore as Miles Morales. It's Miles Morales' origin story with the Spider-Verse stuff thrown in, and it's done so perfect. Haley Steinfeld. It's fantastic. Go see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Your final 2.
All right, number 2 for me. This was also number 1 for a while. Then I saw one more film. Number 2 is Mid-90s from Jonah Hill. This
I really
is
need to see Mid-90s.
directorial debut. Fantastic portrayal of the 90s. The 4:3 aspect ratio really sells it. Sonny Soljic, who was from Sacred Deer, was great in this film. Lucas Hedges, who I'm sorry, but you're my least favorite actor. But
I'm not a big Lucas Hedges guy. I'm not.
But you did pretty good in this movie. I'll give you that. But yeah, no, that film was fantastic. Great portrayal of the 90s. I think I already said that. And my number 1 film of the year from my favorite director, from the brilliantly weird mind of Yorgos Lanthimos, the guy who made The Lobster and Sacred Deer. Number 1 for me is The Favorite. This film is phenomenal. 10 out of 10. It is just the best comedy with like just the right pinch of disturbing nature that I have seen in a long time. It's a fantastic period piece as well.
I really need to see it.
Surprisingly got nominated a lot at the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
Olivia Colman, the whole ensemble characters.
Yeah, Rachel Weisz, Emma
Rachel
Stone.
Weisz, yeah, Emma Stone.
I was going to see it
Nicholas
this
Hoult.
weekend. I chose to see Vox Lux instead. Vox Lux is clearly not in my top 10. That's all I
Yeah.
need to say about that.
But yeah, favorite. Go see it.
But yeah, so The Favorite and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, your favorite movie of the year?
All right, wait. I want to say, is Hostiles considered 2018?
No, because Hostiles
Son,
came out in 2017
great
and
Western.
then came out in January of this year.
go see it. It's a
I
great
loved Hostiles.
Western.
I don't know if you got to see it.
I didn't
Scott
see it.
Cooper.
Well, it
Christian
came out
Bale.
in January, so it's kind of a.
But it
it's a
came
great.
out in
If you love
January in a wide
westerns,
release, but it was
All right.
screened at festivals and
It's a
had a
weird
limited
technicality.
release. It's a weird technicality, but
Right.
that it happens. There's going to be movies this year. Vice is going to come out on Christmas.
Yeah.
It's going to be out for 5 days in the U.S., and then pretty much everyone else is going to see it next year.
and Aquaman.
That's
We'll
probably gonna be
talk
one of my
about
favorite.
Aquaman
We're
in
going
the
to talk
new
about
year.
Aquaman the New Year, Bumblebee,
Bumblebee.
Mary Poppins.
Okay, so my favorite movie so far this year,
Yes.
of what I've seen, I'm gonna say Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2.
All right.
Deadpool 2,
Deadpool
because
2.
Deadpool 2 makes
one
me
of my
laugh.
friend's favorite movies of the year.
I think that I think Ryan Reynolds found his niche, and I know he only wants to do one more, but I love him. And I think he is. I didn't read as many Deadpool comics as you have.
I'm a big Deadpool.
So I haven't read a lot of the comics, but I watched the 2 movies, and I'm even going to go to the theater to see the new one, which is
Once Upon a Deadpool.
Once Upon a Deadpool, which is
PG-13 version. of Deadpool
PG-13
2.
of Deadpool, and he's
It's a
going.
Christmas film.
Hey,
It's
there
a
you go.
Christmas film, and he's going to read
What a
to
segue.
Fred Savage, who he has. You can see the trailer. The trailer's hilarious.
So that's a Christmas
So-
film.
Perfect.
Let's go right
Perfect.
into Christmas movies. I don't have that much to say about Christmas movies, so it's good that we're
right.
wrapping it up. We got a couple on the chat. We had A Christmas Carol, the George C. Scott version. That's all we had in the chat. Well, Home Alone. And, yeah, Macaulay Culkin's making a comeback. He's looking good. He was on Angry Video Game Nerd.
And Red Letter Media.
Red Letter Media. My favorite Christmas movies, Elf, Will Ferrell. That's our generation as opposed to your generation. We're
Right.
going to have different stuff. What else? Home Alone, Christmas Story, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation,
Okay, I'll say
Chevy
that.
Chase, Randy Quaid. You can't go wrong with that.
Oh, yeah. He's in jail, I think.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Oh, he is, yeah.
He's
It's a shame. I love him.
poor
I
Randy Quaid. The aliens finally got him.
Yeah, all right. Well, It's a Wonderful Life, of course. I love A Christmas Story. You're going to say that all the time. A Christmas Story is a real fun Christmas movie. A movie I like, which is not considered a Christmas movie, yet it takes place in Christmas. And I feel I'm going full circle because I'm going to tell you something about this movie after I mention it. Stalag 17. Okay, it's about prisoners of war during Christmas time. And a lot happens. So Christmas is an element in it, but it's not a Christmas movie. But the full circle is Spike Lee had wanted to remake Stalag 17 for the longest time with an all-black cast,
Which would have been really interesting.
which would have
but
been quite interesting. And
He still could make it, but he hasn't made it
yeah,
yet.
he hasn't made it. And at the time, I didn't want. I happen to enjoy Stalag 17 so much. I will watch it at Christmas, but I also watch it in the summer. And I loved it so much. I don't want anyone. It's sacred to me. I didn't want. And then Ryan brought up at that time. He said, "What if the William Holden character was played by Denzel Washington?" And I thought, "Whoa!" Then,
Now
and there was
maybe
some
John
good-
David Washington could play that role.
maybe there
He
were
might
other
be a little
guys.
too
Yeah.
young for the role. I think maybe Mahershala Ali from Green Book would
Yeah.
make a really good Septon.
Yeah, he might make a
Stalag
good-
17 is a film Jack hasn't seen, but I recommend it for him to see, so he will watch soon enough.
Oh, definitely. And at least a year, because I've got
And-
45 films to watch.
Yeah, you better watch. Put The Part at the top of the list.
Okay, and one more. Okay, you never saw Departed? Get the hell out of here!
Here comes the tangent.
No, all right. And A Christmas Carol with Alistair Sim, I believe. It's Alistair
I
Sim.
like Disney's A Christmas.
And no, I love this one with the Englishman, and he's great. He's absolutely, he's the best Scrooge ever. I love him as Scrooge. And there's many versions of that, but that, and for you science fiction fans, A Christmas Carol is the first time travel story.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
that would
Yeah.
be considered. I was talking about that today. I was saying I think Time Machine is like really the first big time travel story, but A Christmas Carol is the first because they go back in time. So Dickens kind of created that.
I used to go to science fiction conventions, and that's how I know writers and panels would say that is the
Yeah.
first.
So we'll go to you real quick, and then we're gonna have to say goodbye. But before that, I do have to say to Rick in the chat, Rick, Vincent Chase is the best Aquaman. He will always be the best Aquaman. James Cameron's Aquaman is the best. It doesn't matter how James Wan's Aquaman is. James Cameron's Aquaman. It beats Spider-Man at the box office. It's one of the best movies of all time. Vincent Chase, one of the greatest actors. Although we never got to see Smoke Jumpers. I'm a big, I got Medellin on DVD. I'm a big Vincent Chase guy. You know, some people say he kinds of phones it in, but, you know, Aquaman 2 with Jake Gyllenhaal, we don't talk about that. Directed by Michael Bay, written by Kevin Smith. I love Kevin Smith, but we don't talk about that. The
Okay.
Andrew Kevin Walker written Aquaman's great.
If you're
Christmas
a fan
time.
of Entourage, and you know what,
Give like your
What
3
we
favorite
talking about.
Christmas movies, and then we gotta say goodbye.
Okay. Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas.
Yes.
A Christmas Story Live.
Yes.
Terrible.
They're all-
Star Wars Holiday Special and pretty much all of the Netflix Christmas films. But for real, Elf and Polar Express.
Except
All right.
Christmas Chronicle, because it's really good.
and one honorable mention.
Polar Express.
One honorable
I like
mention that you will find on the Sci-Fi Channel, Santa Jaws. Santa Jaws. This
Sounds
is,
like exactly.
We
what
watched it in like July, but yeah.
but it's a Christmas movie.
All right, we
So,
gotta say
thank you,
goodbye.
goodbye,
Thank you,
everybody.
everybody. We'll see you next year.
See
we
you
got
next
some new
year.
stuff coming in the new year.
Thank
and
you all for watching.
Thank you all for watching. I am Queens Boulevard.